The most effective method to reverse diabetes without medication. The most effective method to reverse diabetes header. Would you be able to turn around diabetes? It relies upon the sort, stage, and a few different components, huge numbers of which are absolutely in your control. Diabetes indications incorporate things like expanded appetite, expanded thirst, continuous pee, slow twisted mending, and obscured vision, to give some examples. Diabetes is an interminable condition that influences an expected 23.1 million individuals in the US, and upwards of 1 out of 4 individuals don't realize they have it. That doesn't tally individuals who are prediabetic or in danger of creating diabetes. At the point when insulin is functioning admirably, your cells get the vitality you need and you don't store overabundance fat. Several things can turn out badly with this cycle, however. Peruse on to discover what diet and way of life changes can keep your glucose level and direct your insulin creation. Diabetes is a constant condition that influences an expected 23.1 million individuals in the US, and upwards of 1 out of 4 individuals don't realize they have it. Numbers have consistently moved in the course of recent decades without any indications of leveling off. Diabetes manifestations incorporate things like expanded craving, expanded thirst, regular pee, slow twisted mending, and obscured vision, to give some examples. All specialists approach diabetes in an unexpected way, and its administration relies upon whether your PCP centers around remedies or adopts a more comprehensive strategy. A few specialists will choose whether or not you need insulin medicine, and how much. Others will prompt you on diet and way of life changes that can help. Diabetes is one of those conditions where discussions with your primary care physician will be considerably more gainful in the event that you have some data about what's happening. Peruse on to gain proficiency with the rudiments about how diabetes and insulin work, and how to improve your condition whether you're in danger or in the event that you as of now have diabetes. Type 1 versus Type 2 diabetes. Starting at now, diabetes is named either Type 1 or Type 2. New exploration recommends there are a few additional kinds of diabetes, which all require diverse treatment draws near, yet that is a creating subject matter. On a scene of Bulletproof Radio, Dr. Stephen Masley clarifies why specialists are beginning to see Alzheimer's illness as Type 3 diabetes, and dismantles the connection among insulin and mind degeneration. Hear it out on iTunes. With Type 1 diabetes, your resistant framework assaults the pancreas, and it makes less and less insulin after some time. With Type 2 diabetes, your cells become insulin safe, more on that surfacing, and your pancreas battles to stay aware of the interest for much more insulin. Type 1 diabetes is precarious in view of the immune system segment. Keeping aggravation low calms your invulnerable framework so you can protect the insulin-creating beta cells in your pancreas that you despite everything have. Type 2 diabetes is more receptive to consume less calories and way of life changes, and innumerable individuals have had accomplishment in turning around their diabetes by assuming responsibility for their eating routine and life. Regardless of whether you have Type 1 diabetes, Type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or in the event that you can feel glucose variances around your eating designs, you'll profit by diet and way of life changes that advantage your glucose. How insulin functions. Step-by-step instructions to reverse diabetes underscore how insulin works. Before you get excessively profound, first see how insulin plays into everything. At the point when you eat something, your body separates food into amino acids, protein, lipids, fats, and glucose, sugar. Sugar goes into your circulatory system for conveyance to your cells to give them the fuel they have to carry out their responsibilities. Insulin is a hormone that enables glucose to get where it needs to go. At the point when the body detects that you've eaten something, your pancreas produces insulin to enable your cells to assimilate sugar. On the off chance that you didn't have insulin, your cells wouldn't get their glucose fuel, and your body would detect sugar in your circulatory system and inevitably store it as fat on the grounds that your cells didn't utilize it. At the point when it's functioning admirably, your cells get the vitality they need and you don't store overabundance fat. A few things can turn out badly with this cycle, however. Insulin opposition is actually as it sounds. Your phones don't get the sign from insulin to assimilate sugar. In the event that your muscle and organ cells don't react to insulin and assimilate glucose, your cells don't get the fuel they need and sugar remains in the circulatory system. That flags your body to store it as fat. In the event that your phones aren't reacting to insulin, your pancreas delivers more to increase the volume on the sign that glucose is accessible and the cells ought to retain it. At the point when your pancreas can keep up, blood glucose remains inside sound reaches, and everything is great. At the point when your pancreas starts to crap out, you end up with insulin inadequacy, which prompts glucose changes and weight gain. Insulin obstruction requests more insulin from your pancreas. Pre-diabetes is the point at which you don't make sufficiently vary and your glucose levels rise, however they're not yet sufficiently high for an official diabetes determination. Our responsibility is to settle on food and way of life decisions that will keep that cycle murmuring. Here are some exploration upheld things you can join to understand insulin obstruction, prediabetes, and diabetes. In the event that you don't do anything else, cut sugar. Step-by-step instructions to reverse diabetes _ cut sugar. Heaps and heaps of examination interface high sugar utilization with diabetes. 2, 3, 4, 5, that's since nature doesn't make the very sweet nourishments and beverages that people assembling, and we aren't worked to deal with it. Your body separates the food you eat into sugar, glucose, that your cells can use for fuel. People are worked to deal with glucose levels that originate from dinners of meats and vegetables with a moderate measure of natural products. In the last not many hundred years or somewhere in the vicinity, individuals began to disengage sugar into affixing and improve nourishments with it, maple syrup, high fructose corn syrup, and different sugars included. Sweet nourishments cause a spike in the glucose in your blood. Your body can deal with an intermittent flood, yet when desserts become an ordinary thing, your body begins to battle to manage it. The exhaust tires out your pancreas and delivers less and less insulin, which keeps glucose in your blood rather than in your cells where it has a place. Particularly in the beginning phases of insulin obstruction, prediabetes, and diabetes, basically cutting sugar definitely diminishes your insulin request, and thusly, decreases the weight on your pancreas. The most negative thing sugar does is cause aggravation, and irritation is the base of nearly all that fizzles in your body. There is an immediate connection among aggravation and diabetes. 6. And a lower carb diet decreases C-receptive protein, a marker of inflammation. 7. Notwithstanding sugar, it's a smart thought to watch out for your harmful burden and keep your omega-3 to omega-6 proportion low to hold irritation down. Get in shape. Step-by-step instructions to reverse diabetes _ lose weight. Despite the fact that researchers don't yet comprehend the specific reasons for insulin opposition, overabundance body weight is on the presumed list. Analysts found that members with diabetes went into abatement by getting thinner alone, even without taking insulin. 8. In case you're not yet diabetic yet you're in danger, or in the event that you can feel your glucose variances, slamming and expecting to eat, or feeling hangry, consider getting thinner to decrease your danger. In one investigation, for each kilogram of weight reduction, a little more than 2 pounds, there was a 16% decrease in risk. 9. Another investigation followed grown-ups at high danger for diabetes for a long time and found that individuals who made eating routine and way of life changes had a lower occurrence of diabetes than members who got metformin, a medicine to control glucose, or placebo. 10. In case you're overweight, odds are you're in danger for diabetes or you're as of now there. It may be an ideal opportunity to begin investigating changing the manner in which you eat. Which carries us to a definitive diabetes diet. Go keto. Step-by-step instructions to reverse diabetes _ the extreme diabetes diet. Go keto. The examination is strong to the point that the clinical network is getting on and beginning to encourage diabetic patients to restrict carbs. 11. Study after investigation shows that a high-fat, low-carb, ketogenic diet inverts type 2 diabetes. 12. 13. In the event that your carb utilization is on the high side, when you include sugar in with the general mishmash, you're unquestionably on the high side, it's put away as fat and you end up with insulin obstruction or non-alcoholic greasy liver disease. 14. The explanation for it is that carbs process into glucose, and restricting carbs enables your body to control glucose more efficiently. 15. 16. It improves by and large glucose profiles, insulin affectability, and hemoglobin A1C, which is a diabetes marker. 17. Going low carb is particularly compelling in case you're in the beginning phases when you don't yet need to manage insulin. 18. Lessening carbs and increasing your admission of great fats decreases fat in your blood. 19. Which thusly brings down your danger of diabetes. Regardless of whether rolling out little slow improvements after some time doesn't fix you, you'll feel so much better when you give your body what it needs and when you don't trouble it with what it needn't bother with. Regardless of whether you're diminishing your danger of creating diabetes or dispensing with your requirement for medicine, it merits joining advantageous changes so you can be simply the best form.